Hello everybody, and today I'm going to do a quick review of the Canoptek Cloak Cryptek from forgebane. One thing I have to say about this model, I cannot believe how nice it is. It's a very good looking model, and it's nice to have another HQ that's in plastic, not resin. Okay, some building advice we give you with this. If you follow the instructions, like so, I would do this one. I wouldn't do this one third. I would do this one first, and then I put the legs on number 7, just for that extra, just so they'll glue better to the bob, like so. As you can see, one of the legs touch the rock there, so if you put it on first, then glue the legs on. It's nice. Okay. Another bit of advice I would give you: you don't have to follow this. I glued his back foot to his spine here, just for that extra security so you can pick him up without snapping anything. That's optional. And another bit of advice I would give you is this little cute scarab thing he has as a pet. Imagine there's an invisible wall coming up, and try and get all his little legs inside the base. So that way if you get stuck in melee, you won't get your legs snapped off because they'll be touching the base. Okay, the review of this model. I personally cannot believe how big it is. And just so I can show you how big it is, let me show you. Stop. Imp attack. And the Nightbringer. As you can see, the model is absolutely huge. It's got a bigger base than the Nightbringer. It's very high, so it's extremely difficult to get it out of line of sight. You basically need a 2-story building to hide it. But some advice I would say, if you're ever using this in the game, you have to use completely different tactics to a normal Cryptek. Simply because it's so big and it's hard to hide. You have a really hard time hiding this in a blob of warriors and immortals because the base is so big. Okay, you can use that to your advantage, and I will go over a video on tactics how to use this guy properly. But just be very wary if you just want to run a Cryptek with warriors and immortals, so I'll just pay a few points extra for the cloak. You can be very careful if you do that, just because the base is so big. That's my review of the Cryptek. Very awesome looking model. I personally think it's the coolest looking HQ we have. As you can see, look at it. Absolutely amazing. Extremely big, which is a problem for me. But that's how you do it that. Right, let's go to some cheese building tactics, okay? If you're one of those win at all cost people, okay, I wouldn't recommend you do this, or you will lose your friends. But you can easily build this guy. You can model him to advantage, okay? So if you want to go to tournaments, or if you just want to win at all costs, right? Oops. What I would do, I wouldn't do this personally, but if you wanted to, I would cut it. I would put his feet on the base like so. Okay, so he's that much shorter already. I've angled this scarab. I've cut these little tubes here. I'd angle the scarab to come out sideways. So if you really wanted to go to a tournament and you wanted to win at all costs, you could take that much off him. You can get him down that big, so you can get him into a normal building and hide him. Okay, so that's a bit of building advice there if you just want to win. I wouldn't do it because that's just low. Another bit of advice I could give you if you want to win at all costs, because this base is so big, some terrain you have a hard time putting on, like you've got a small edge, you can just fall off. Right, this is a cheese tactic. You can put a bit of slate, or so on, or some green stones in the front of the base here, just so it's really heavy in the front. And then you can put 1 or 2 small fissure weights here, and green stuff, so it's nice and flat. And that way, you'll be heavy enough in the front, so you just balance on the base like that. And then you can say wobbly model syndrome, because you can let go and it'll stay there. That's very cheesy, and I wouldn't recommend you do that, because that's just low. But the option's there if you want it. But as a review, this model is absolutely stunning. I love it. But just be very careful if you use this over normal Cryptek with troops. Simply because it's very vulnerable to charge, and you can't hide him. So snipers can pick this guy off really easily if you're not careful. So that's my review of the almighty Cryptek. It's a beautiful model. I love the pet. I just hate the fact he's on a 50mm base. I was expecting a 40. 50 is huge. Really big game changer that. So my second one, I'm going to build him the same. But I'm going to build his staff and give him different powers to make him look at all my HQs looking different. So that's my review of the Cryptek. I'll do a tactical video later on how to use them correctly. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next video.